Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, August the 5th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you on this lovely Friday?
I'm doing well, Coach. Doing well. Ready to have one slate. All we have to, focus on. Yesterday, it felt like we were all over the place. So I think we can be a little bit more honed in and focused today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, I'll tell you what, all full disclosure, as always, it was an absolute dumpster fire for me, man. It was a disaster. So I got rid of it, rid of all the bad vibes, flushed those, they're gone. Got up early this morning, put in some extra time to just make sure that we went after this slate aggressively. So
yeah.
Good morning to JT and some of the folks. Collins in there with us. Hopefully Boy from Cali will be joining. We'll get a bunch of people here diving in. So I'm sure they'll filter in as the day goes on. But yeah, yesterday was not fun, Crash.
No, I mean, it does happen. I thought I had a decent lineup, but then, 4 of my guys got literally wiped out by the storm. So yeah, that was rough. Anytime you lose half your players, it's going to be.
And, the frustrating thing is we followed it, hour by hour on that weather in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed, I looked at every model, every radar. It didn't show the rain starting till much later. But, when it's hot like that in the summer and thunderstorms pop up, you just never know. There's no way to predict that.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. So it's over. That one's gone. Today's a great day. There's 14 games total, but 13 that we'll be concentrating on the main slate, and very excited to go through those. Now, we do have a plethora of possible weather issues. There's 4 or 5 games that could have rain before, during, after. We're going to go through those. We'll follow them. We'll talk about those percentages. And again, we'll follow them throughout the afternoon here as we prepare for the slate, and then we'll make those calls. 9 times out of 10, we're, right on the spot with those weather calls. And there's going to be, a time or two where we get, cheated, and sometimes it'll fall in our favor. So,
yeah, I think that was the first time that's happened this year to us. So,
yeah. Yeah, we've really been on a great streak with that. That was, really the first time that I can remember. I don't think we've had one this year where we got wiped out like that. So it is what it is, and we go from here. All right, let's do our original breakdown here. We'll look at the games and see what we've got. First of all, the first game on the board, again, we won't be messing with that. It's a 2:20 afternoon game. It's the Miami Marlins at the Chicago Cubs, 7.5 Vegas total, 79 degrees, wind blowing in from right at 10 miles an hour in Chicago, 3.52 implied for the Marlins, 3.98 for the Cubs. Edward Cabrera versus Justin Steele, the lefty fireballer. So if you're going to play that slate, good luck on the showdown, and we wish you the best. All right, 13 games, Crash. I'm fired up. The first one, 7:05. Pittsburgh Pirates at Baltimore Orioles. We've got an 8.5 Vegas total here, 86 degrees in Baltimore, slight breeze, nothing in particular there from the wind side. We have a 3.84 implied for the Pirates, 4.66 for Baltimore. So pretty aggressive implied totals there with that 8.5 total in Baltimore, where since they moved the fences back, has been a completely different park as far as from hitting home runs. It's Mitch Keller, 6.5K versus Dean Kramer, 6.6K. Game 2, Washington Nationals at the Philadelphia Phillies, total of 9. It is 87 hot degrees in Philly. Again, a pop-up shower. This is one of the ones we'll be watching. Definitely big chances of rain in Philly today. 3.68 implied for Washington. A big 5.32 for Philly. So they will get some stacking if that game does go. Josiah Gray, 8.5K versus Kyle Gibson at an even 7K. Then we go to Cleveland, another chance of rain. Houston Astros in town against the Guardians. It is 82 warm degrees in Cleveland, slight breeze there. 8.5 is the total. 5 for the Houston Astros, 3.5 for the Cleveland Guardians. Framber Valdez, the lefty, at a costly 9.9K against Hunter Gaddis, the righty youngster. So we'll see what he's made of and if that game goes, depending on the weather.
Yep.
7:10, Tampa at Detroit. It is 86 warm degrees in Detroit. Breeze blowing in from left at 6 miles an hour. 8 is the total, 4.71 implied for the Rays, 3.29 for the Tigers. Corey Kluber, 8.2K versus the youngster Brian Garcia, 4.8K. Cheap price for Garcia. 7:10, we head to New York. Also part of that East Coast weather fiasco. Big chance of rain there as well, so we'll watch that very closely. 85 degrees, slight breeze blowing out to left, but a lot of rain chances, 63% chance of rain at first pitch. So that's going to be shaky. 8.5's the total, 4 implied for Atlanta, 4.5 for the New York Mets. Ian Anderson, 6.8K versus Taijuan Walker, 9.1K. 8:05, we head down to Texas. The dome closed because of the temperatures there. 7.5's the Vegas total, 4.34 for the White Sox, only 3.16 for the Rangers. Low number for them at home. Dylan Cease is the reason for that. 10.4K. He's pricey, but in a good spot. Yep. Against Glenn Otto, 5.8K. We move on to Kansas City, Red Sox and Royals. Looks like good weather there. Hot, 90 degrees. Slight breeze blowing right to left at 7 miles an hour. A Vegas total of 9. Both teams a split implied total of 4.5 each. Josh Winkowski, 5.9K, takes the hill for the Red Sox. And the wily old veteran for Kansas City, Zach Greinke, at 5.6K. Then head over to Milwaukee. You know a little bit about that team under the dome. 8.5's the total. They're hosting the Reds today. Pretty low implied, 333 for the Reds, 3.33, 5.17 for the Brewers. Robert Duggar, 5.5K for the Reds, and the big lefty Eric Lauer at 8K for the Brewers. 8:10 as well. We've got the Toronto Blue Jays at the Minnesota Twins. Looks like good weather for that game in Minnesota, 89 degrees. But there is a wind blowing in from right field at 13 miles an hour. 4.39 implied for the Blue Jays, 4.11 for the Twins. Jose Berrios down to 7.7K. Tyler Mahle for the Twins, a new face in town there, 8.7K. And then at 8:15, over to St. Louis, a really good series here. The New York Yankees in town to play the St. Louis Cardinals. Looks like it should be good weather there, 85 degrees, slight breeze, 4.66 implied for the Yankees on an 8.5 Vegas total, and 3.84 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Nestor Cortez, the lefty, 10.1K against Dakota Hudson, just $4,000 cheaper than Mr. Nestor there at 6.1K. All right, we've got a couple more, 3 more games. We do have a couple late games, 3 of them here. So we could have a possibility of an after-hours slate that we'll post for our members. Plus, Crash, not as much sleep. So you hope you caught up last night.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah.
Good. 9:40, Colorado Rockies at Arizona Diamondbacks in the dome there with the humidor. 8.5 is the total in Vegas. 4 for the Colorado Rockies, 4.5 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Herman Marquez, 7.3K against the big lefty Madison Bumgarner, still in the league, still pumping out the pitches, 6.2K for Madison there in the D-backs. 10-10, 2 late games, a double late night sweat here. Padres, Dodgers, what a series is that? With the all juiced up, these two teams with all the bats, and should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
75 comfortable degrees in LA, slight breeze blowing out to right 9 miles an hour. Beautiful night for baseball. 8.5 is the Vegas total, 3.79 for the Padres, 4.71 for the Dodgers. Sean Manaea, lefty, 9.4K against Tony Gopher Ball Gonsolin. Sorry, man. I got to keep calling you that until he start pitching better. He's 9.7K. So still pretty expensive. What I want to know, Crash, though, is what in God's name is the payroll for these two teams? I mean,
oh my gosh, I know.
They got to be in like Yankees territory with what they're paying.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It's nuts. I even got Manaea, another guy they just picked up, at the trade deadline. So This should be a fantastic series, though. A lot of eyeballs will be on that series for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last game on the slate, game 13 of this main slate, is going to be an awesome one. LA Angels at Seattle Mariners in the Dome in Seattle. Only 7 for the total here. Lowest on the board. Paltry 2.87 for the Angels, 4.13 implied for Seattle. Patrick Sandoval, the lefty, 7.5K against fellow lefty Robbie Ray at 8.9K. So that is the rundown, Crash. Double-digit games, that's right in my wheelhouse, and I am ready because the bounce back from that fiasco yesterday, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, sir. Anybody that's watching, first of all, quick shout-out. Boy from Cali's in there. Dominic's now joined the fray. JT, our own Colin Chachoff, in case we put any trivia in there. We know Colin's going to jump on that. He's going to give him a beating on that one for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, fired up for this one. If you want to join us, by the way, if you're watching dfscoachtalk.com, you can dive right in. We'd love to have you. You can try us out for the weekend. 3-day pass is only $10. You get everything Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And do you know what that includes, Crash? You get all of our baseball, all 3 days, all the slates, all the games, all of our NASCAR this weekend, our MMA this weekend, and then you've got golf as well. We have the PGA
and live
weekend. No live golf this week.
No live golf. Okay.
No, just PGA. So we're providing weekend lineups tonight and probably final round lineups on Sunday as well. So we would love to have you. Again, it's dfscoachtalk.com. If you're watching on YouTube right now, this is your perfect opportunity. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and that little alert button as well. That allows you to know exactly when our podcast posts or when we go live, because this week we've started going live every day at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. We're going to continue to do that through the weekend, see if it continues to catch on as more people start jumping in with us. So we'd love to have you each day. And if you happen to miss it, it goes automatically on YouTube right after we're done, and you can watch it from the start. All right, sir, this is where you make your big bucks. I say it every day, but you're raking it in because everybody tunes in to hear Crash's pay up, value, and fade pitchers for today, Friday, August the 5th. What do you have, Crash?
Yeah, we did pretty well with those yesterday. Verlander was solid, and Quintana had a nice day. So my top pay-up pitcher today is going to be Dylan Cease. He's 10-9 on Fanduel, 10-4 on Draftkings. As you mentioned the other day, he's allowed 1 run or less in 12 straight starts. He scored 40-plus fantasy points in 8 of his last 9 starts, with 4 50-plus fantasy points games in his last 8. And he's going up against Texas. They have the 8th highest strikeout rate. He hasn't faced them yet this year. He did face them late last year in September, and he pitched 5 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, and scored 51 fantasy points. So I like Dylan Cease. To me, he has the highest ceiling of anyone on this slate, so he's going to be my top pay-up option.
Very solid.
Value is going to be probably a surprise. It's going to be Robbie Ray. He's 9,400 on Fanduel, 8,900 on Draftkings. Going up against the Angels, of course, they have the highest strikeout rate. He's really struggled his last 2 starts, and he's going up against an Angels team that hit an MLB record 7 home runs yesterday. And so I feel like with the combination of how he's been struggling, him being at home against a high strikeout team and a team that just about broke a home run record yesterday, that he's going to be in a good spot, to bounce back, because LA is going to regress from hitting 7 home runs yesterday. I mean,
you just think so.
Yeah. Think. And then plus Seattle's a more pitcher friendly park. So I like that too. And then my fade pitcher is going to be Eric Lauer. He's just too expensive. He scored no more than 34 fantasy points in 11 of his last 12 starts.
Jeez.
The price here just doesn't make any sense. He's going up against Cincinnati, who, yes, they did lose Brandon Drury to San Diego and Tommy Pham to Boston. But, we need 40-plus fantasy points at his price, and he's only done that twice in 13, his last 13 starts. So he's actually averaged his 3 starts since he's joined the Brewers against the Reds. He's averaged 12.3 Fanduel points. So he's really struggled against the Reds. He hasn't been playing that great in general, and his price is too expensive. So all those factors combined is why he's my fade.
Wow. All right. I have to take this call. Hello? Oh, this is the Milwaukee Brewers fan club? Oh, man.
Tell them that we shouldn't have traded Hader while you're on the line.
Wow. No, sorry, Crash. They threw you out, man. You're done. You're out of the Brewers fan club. Well, you know what? This is really, really weird today. You're never going to believe this. Lauer's my pay-up pitcher today.
Oh, no.
Actually, my value pitcher. I take that back because he and my other guy are about even. I love Eric Lauer today. So I don't think this has ever happened before, but I really like Lauer. Now, let me explain why. I think you're giving the dude a bad rap. Let's look at his numbers and talk about this. He's 7-3, a 3.75 ERA, but that's not really as bad as it looks because he's gotten smacked a few times. Only a 1.21 WHIP, which is very good. Mm-hmm. Triple digit strikeouts up to 107. And here's the thing. He's facing a pathetic Cincinnati Reds team. Cincinnati stinks.
Is Colin listening?
Exactly. I'm sorry, Colin, but it's true. And he knows it. They're only batting .247 against lefties. They're 6th in the league against lefties in strikeouts. And they're not good, man. They just are not good. I don't like their lineup. They're in a rebuild mode. And I think that he's in a position here to have a really good game. Now, yes, he's had a lot of subpar games, but last game he had 30 Fanduel points against Boston. 3 starts ago, he had 34 against San Francisco, a good team. 30 against the Pirates, 46 against the Cubs the game before that. So in that sense, he's had over 30 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games. He's also, granted, didn't have as many strikeouts in the last 2 games, but he was going against Boston and Colorado, who's hit the ball a bit lately. Before that, though, he had 7, 9, 5, 5, 6. So I'm expecting against this, just terrible Reds team with a poor batting average and a lot of strikeouts against lefties, I think he steps up and gets it done. And we know that he's a momentum kind of pitcher. Only gave up 4 hits in that game against Boston the last time out with 1 earned run. And he has also had shaky defense behind him a few times this year. So I'm hoping your Brewers can D it up. The other thing is his price is right. He's only $8,000 on DraftKings, which is highway robbery. He is correctly priced on Fanduel at $9,700. I don't know if I'd bite on that, but he's also a giveaway free square on Yahoo at $37. So You give me a good, strong lefty with a good team behind him against a porous Reds team. I'll take him all day long. So he's my value pitcher. Or I have co-pitchers today. So my other value / pay up pitcher, believe it or not, is Corey Kluber. So I'm going off the grid again, being very contrarian with my pitchers. Now, I will say that Cease, I think, is the safest, best play for cash, best buy-up play. And I will have Dylan Cease in a lot of my lineups. But I'm going to share that with Lauer and Kluber and rotate those three guys around in my cash, and depending on the pricing between DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo. But I really like Corey Kluber in this spot, and it all has to do with who he's pitching against. It's against the stinking Detroit Tigers, man. Take one guess, and I know I've quizzed you a lot lately, and you've been pretty darn good. Take a guess what the Detroit Tigers' batting average is as a team against right-handed pitching this year.
220.
Great guess. 213. Wow. So how do you have an entire baseball team flirting with the Mendoza line? Almost, I mean, can you imagine, right-handers, there's a lot more right-handers than lefties. They're almost going to flirt with batting under 200 as a club. You usually didn't have a guy on your team below 200. He went down to AAA. Yeah. So Kluber's going against Detroit. They're batting 213, which is dead last against righties in the entire league. They're also fourth in strikeouts against righties. So, Lauer and Kluber know how to pitch. They're facing the Reds and they're facing the Tigers, two of the worst teams in baseball. Kluber's priced right as well. 8,200 on DraftKings, 8,800 on FanDuel, and 45 on Yahoo. So in lineups where I use Cease, either Kluber or Lauer will be a solid SP2 that I'll feel comfortable with. And where I want to roll out a contrarian lineup and load up on the bats and stack some teams, I'll put Lauer and Kluber together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the one guy that's had quite a bit of success against Kluber is Miguel Cabrera, but he is dealing with a knee injury. So I almost used him as my BVP play.
Yeah, he's so hobbled right now, and so many of those stats were when he was, not getting close to retirement like he is now. But I did notice that. So hopefully he's smart pitching to him, and he's going to be hobbling around anyway. My fade pitcher, and I've been picking on him since the All-Star game, it's Gopher Ball Gonsolin. You can have him, man. 9,700 on DraftKings, 91 on FanDuel, and 43 on Yahoo. I mean, he's just been getting smoked. He got cracked in the All-Star game, 2 outings since he's gotten smacked, and he's got to go against that newfangled San Diego Padres lineup.
Yeah, and they're going to be pissed off. They're going to be pissed off after they lost to the Rockies.
Oh, they're going to come out. I mean, like I said, both of these teams are going to come out firing, but I just don't think I think talk about regression. I mean, no matter where you look, Steamer or any of the sites that project second half, it definitely shows big regression for Gonsolin, and I would never pay those dollars for him in a matchup like this.
No, I agree.
All right, my friend. How about right before we go to our BVP and HR? First of all, I want to thank everybody that's been listening every day. We really do appreciate everybody. It means a big difference. We see a bunch of people jumping in there now too. And a couple of things. We pulled the stats today on our July statistics, just a ton of views, lots of minutes listened. So we really do appreciate you helping us grow Coach Talk. Tell a friend, let them know, and let them know that we're live every day now at 11 o'clock. So we really appreciate that. And then give us that thumbs up here right in YouTube and subscribe. Give us a comment too. That combination, if you hit the thumbs up and put a note, it moves us up the algorithm. Also, Colin, who's in right now in the chat. He goes in for us through our audio podcast landing spots, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever it is. And once a month, we pull somebody that has put in a 5-star and a quick review, a couple of words. And we have a drawing for a 1-month free membership. So you want to take advantage of that as well. Also, within the next 2 weeks, we'll be launching with Boom Fantasy. Very, very excited. If you're not familiar with Boom Fantasy, you will be soon. They are going to be a huge national brand that launches massively, and they're pretty much going to be a direct competitor of the PrizePicks type sites. They're going to have all kinds of options that you can play, all kinds of prop plays, and you name it, they're going to offer it. And really, really excited. I've been working and consulting with them for about 4 or 5 months, and they are getting very close now to the launch. And we do have a lot of exclusive offers from them, giveaways, free contests, and everything we'll be announcing in the short weeks. Also, we're doing NFL preseason podcasts. Tomorrow we do the top 10 running backs. That will be Crash and Stephen Miller. Our man Stephen Miller, if you haven't seen him yet, he is a football guru, just like Crash. That'll come out late afternoon tomorrow, and we'll do our top 10 running backs. If you want to check out the top 10 quarterbacks, those are already posted right there on YouTube. All right, my friend, let's dive into BVP and HR call. What do you got?
My BVP play is going to be Charlie Blackmon. He's 3,300 on Fanduel, 4,800 on Draftkings. Hit 340 against Madison Bumgarner with 18 hits and 53 at bats. 13 singles, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs. So
wow,
go with the old man Charlie Blackmon.
Okay.
And my home run call, home run call is going to be Ketel Marte. He's 297 with 11 hits and 37 at bats against German Marquez. 6 singles, 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. And 7 of his 10 home runs this year have been against right-handed pitchers.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. My BVP play is going to be one Mr. Ty France. He's going against Patrick Sandoval. He's only faced him 11 times, but he's got 4 hits off of him. He's homered off of him, some RBIs, some walks. And just like I say, France took it to another level after making the All-Star team. He's having a good second half. And, they're in the thick of a pennant race. I really like him in this matchup. France against Sandoval's 1053 OPS, 636 slugging, 417 OBP, and 364 average. So Mr. France is my BVP play. And then I had the same home run call as you. So Ketel Marte against German Marquez. You read all his numbers. I agree with him completely. I do think he goes deep tonight. And I will. You want me to give you a second one so I don't just take
sure.
Years? I'm going to go with my good old standby Mookie Betts. He's come through for me twice in the last week or week and a half. I'm going to stick with him because he hits Sean Manaea. He's 7 for 19 against him for 368 average, 4 extra base hits. 2 of them are homers. He's walked a couple of times, only struck out once. So he really sees the ball well against him. A sharp 1271 OPS, 842 slugging, 429 OBP, and a 368 average. So I get the free card here on bet. So I got 2 home run picks today. How about that?
Nice. All right. So that'll lead us right into our stacks.
It does. Stack City. What do you got?
The Dodgers actually is my top stack against Sean Manaea. They faced him earlier this year. He only pitched, he only lasted 4 1/3 innings, and he allowed 6 runs.
Yeah.
And so I like them. That was in San Diego. So I like this matchup at home for the Dodgers. I like the Yankees against Dakota Hudson. Not quite as much as I would if Stanton were in the lineup, but I still like them. And then the Brewers are my GPP stack. And In 9 games against the Reds this year, they've averaged 8.11 runs per game. And in their 3 games at home, they averaged 11.3 runs per game.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they've been really hitting the Reds hard. So
I know you're expecting them to snap out of this slump anytime.
Yeah, I'm glad we're out of Pittsburgh. I couldn't stand another day in that city. So
yeah, I like that call too. That's a solid one. And again, for me, where I'm going to be able to have some expensive stacks, especially if I use that combination of Lauer and Kluber, and what I'll be able to do is load up on a few of these stacks, and then where I put Cease in there for one of those guys, I'll have to be a little bit more, easy as far as spending the money on the hitting.
Right.
But I do like the Yankees as well. I think the Yankees are hard not to at least, want to take 2 or 3 guys from them on almost any given day. Although, St. Louis isn't the easiest ballpark to hit in, but Dakota Hudson, shaky. I'm not sure how deep he'll go. So certainly can never go wrong with a couple of Yankees. No hot take there. I really like the late 10-10 games. So I'll be sweating not real high in the rankings probably for my hitting until later, because I like both sides. I like the Padres and Dodgers.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
What's that?
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
And, I don't think it's going to be as popular as it usually is, because people respect Manaea and people respect Gonsolin, and I don't respect either one of them that much. And I think both of these teams are just, their lineups are just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the middle. I mean, come on, man. 2, 3, 4, 5 is Soto, Machado, Bell, and Cronenworth, and Drury right after him. For the Dodgers at the top, it goes Betts, Turner, Freeman, Smith. I mean, that's a lot of bats. They are pretty expensive on the Dodgers side.
Yeah.
Not as bad on the Padres side, though, for some of those guys. But it is expensive. So, where I save the dollars on pitching, I'll have a lot of players from, I could have a 3v3 easily, have 6 of my hitters come out of this game.
Yeah.
And then my last one is a little bit of a lower owned stack that I'm interested in, and that's the Mets. Again, it's probably going to rain there, but I watched Ian Anderson last time. Oh my gosh, he looked bad. He is just not looking right in his last couple of outings. I don't think he is pitching healthy, or something's going on there. And we know the Mets can hit to contact really solid squad. So they would be a little bit of a contrarian mini stack, maybe grab a Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, but that's expensive as well. Even more expensive if you try like a Marte, Lindor, Alonso. But, I'm going to be able to pick my spots between the Dodgers, Padres, and Mets, and even a couple of Yankees. I mean, you can't go wrong with those 4 teams.
Right. I agree.
All right, man. How about we go to our PrizePicks plays of the day?
Okay.
What do you have for your top play?
Did you take Ketel Marte for one of yours?
I did, sir.
Okay. I figured that you would. So I'm going to go with a pivot here, and I'm going to go to the Dodgers and Padres starting pitchers over 0.5 first inning runs.
Oh,
I think that one of those teams will definitely score in the first inning. There's just so much power in those lineups.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that. Then I am going to take the under on the Framber Valdez 5 strikeouts against Cleveland. He had 4 against them last time he played them, and they have the lowest strikeout rate. Justin Verlander only had 5 strikeouts yesterday.
Right.
And their strikeout rate's actually almost 3 points lower. It's 17% at home compared to 19.9% on the road. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And by the way, I'm going to give my stacks out now. If you have any questions in chat, we've got a decent amount of folks in there. Shoot those questions in there so we can address them before we head out here. We're getting close towards the end. All right. Mine are, like you mentioned, Ketel Marte, only 6.5 is
it's low.
I'll take that all day. Especially with that BVP. So over fantasy score, Ketel Marte 6.5. And then the guy that you got thrown out of the Milwaukee Brewers fan club for, Mr. Lauer, I'm taking over 32.5 fantasy score because I've got him at 7 solid strikeouts, going about 7 solid innings and blowing by that number. I think I might get 38 to 40 out of Lauer tonight.
Wow. I have him projected for around 24.
Oh my God. I have him at 38 right
so
now.
One of us is going to be right and one of us is going to be wrong.
It'll probably be right dead square in the middle of the two.
Yeah, like 26.
The way that usually goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody says I'm going to attack the 80-year-old Zach Greinke. Wow, he looks pretty good for 80, though. I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he pitched pretty well his last couple starts.
85 WRC plus. Yeah. Let's see here.
That's Greinke. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see any other real questions. Just a lot of cool comments. All right. And then our last thing. Well, we got 2 things. We're going to do our Boom Fantasy 2 wagers. And then we're going to put together a 2 brains are better than 1 Fanduel GPP. We do that on Fridays and Saturdays. So, all right. What are your 2 bets today? Boom Fantasy plays of the day.
I'm going to take the over on the implied run total of 9 in Milwaukee, Cincinnati. As I mentioned, Milwaukee's averaged 11 runs per game at home this year against Cincinnati, and 8 1/3 runs just in general. So I just think they're going to go well over that number. I think, Milwaukee probably score 8 to 9 themselves, and then Cincinnati probably score 3 or 4. So I'm going to take the over there. And then I like Colorado at plus 130 against Arizona.
I like
You're
that.
talking about how they hit lefties,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Always great to have a dog in there. I do not have a dog today. I have a chalk play and then what I think is a super fair price. I like Tampa Bay minus the 205. I know it's a little pricey, but sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I think the Rays in a great spot today. I love them. I think they should even be a bigger favorite than that, really. And then the Mets at a very fair minus 140. Again, weather could be an issue there, but I think 140 for them in that matchup is terrific.
Yeah, I agree. There's another one I saw that I thought was a pretty aggressive line. Where did I see that?
I do not know. Live.
Maybe not.
Podcasting.
Maybe not. I thought I saw. Yeah, the Yankees are at 150 minus 150. I thought they were at minus 220. I was gonna say that was pretty aggressive, but yeah, that minus 150. That's not too bad.
Not bad. All right, 2 brains are better than 1. It's your turn to pick first as we build out this squad.
Oh boy, you're not gonna like this. Actually.
You better take your pitcher or I'm going to double cross you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. All right. I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to go with Robbie Ray. I know you don't like him.
Oh my God. Robbie Ray. I'd rather chew on a raw lemon with cuts on my lips. Robbie Ray.
I know you.
I have to actually root for Robbie Ray. I can't stand Robbie Ray. So show me what you got, Robbie Ray. Challenges right now. You better show up, sir. All right. I can live with that, man. I can live with it. I'll go with our duo home run pick, Kettle Marte, 3,200, second base.
Second base. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Was it second base or outfield?
He's not even outfield eligible today for some reason.
Oh, he usually is.
I know he lost that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to think about who my picks were now. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. Outfield, same game, opposite side, Charlie Blackmon.
Mr. Blackmon. Okay. I see London. I see France. I see Ty's underpants, as they say. Mr. Ty France, 3,400.
He's got a questionable tag. What's the deal here?
He has a wrist
injury, but is expected to play Friday. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
He had a sore wrist, but from everything I see, he's good to go. Again, the nice thing about putting this two brains are better than one lineup out now, our man Colin will update on Twitter. So for any non-members, they'll see the update on Twitter post if we have to make any changes, and then we'll make sure and let you know in Discord. But I expect, from what I read, and I love it, because when I expect a guy to play and he's in a great matchup and he gets that little day-to-day symbol next to him, people freak out, and the ownership just plummets. So yeah. I'm loving it, because we're going to get France at low ownership.
Nice. All right, I'm going to take. All right. I'm trying to do some mini stacks or whatever, but
it's hard when we build these two brainers, because you got two different routes to go. But I get it. I'm going to be going to this Dodgers Padres game with the majority of my picks after this.
I'll go back to the Clay Thompson's brother play.
Oh, really? You're sticking with him?
Yeah, against the lefty. 2,300. That'll give us some good savings too.
Yeah, that gets us up to 3,350 a shot. So I can go bonkers and dive right back to Mr. Mookie Betts again.
Okay.
He's been the man for me recently. So let's keep that streak going.
All right.
Still over 3,000 ahead for our last three.
Which we're going Dodgers here. 2,300 Miguel Vargas.
Wow, that's one. That is an interesting play.
Yeah, we're going Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like you said, people respect Minaya, and I don't think their ownership's going to be as high as it normally would be.
No, I agree with you, man. I totally agree. So 3,450 a shot here. So let me see.
I have a shortstop if you want to take utility.
I'm going to take Josh Bell utility.
Okay.
I think he goes deep tonight against Gopher Ball Gonsolin. That gives you 3,700. Do you need that?
Exactly what I need.
Seriously?
Yeah. Willie Adames. Yep.
Wow. That worked out pretty handily.
Yeah, it did.
So we used every nickel. Hopefully everybody rolls here. But here is the two brains are better than one lineup for Friday, August the 5th. Play this in your GPPs for the big bucks on Fanduel. Ray, France, Marte, Vargas, Adames, Blackman, Thompson, Betts, and Bell. Boy, I like that lineup, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of late night games right there.
Yeah, so don't get discouraged as the day is going, because let's see, how many of these guys? Oh my,
we got one guy that starts before 9. Adames.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is we're going to have an already built-in lineup for that after-hour slate too.
Yeah, just about. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Howard Rose, what's up, Howard? He's going 18.5 fantasy score on PrizePicks for Greinke. He likes the over. How about that? He's only allowed 2 earned runs over the last 5 games. Good call, Howard. Got it. Those things are sneaky.
Yeah.
Old Greinke, you'd never know when he can throw some innings together. All right. Anything else, Crash, on your end of the spectrum here?
No, that covers it. Like you said, just hang in there with this lineup, because it's going to be, not until almost midnight before this thing really starts to take off, most likely. So
yeah, without question, we're, if we can just hang in there a little bit, and then we'll have all that late activity, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be rooting my tail off for the Brewers, just routing on you with the Brewers here.
Yeah.
After you've given us the slight slighting our Milwaukee Brewers fandom here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think he's going to do terrible, but not, I was mainly looking at his Fanduel price, 9,700. That's just I don't.
Oh, that's too high. There's no doubt. But DraftKings and Yahoo
8,000 is respectable. But when you look at his numbers, though, it makes me question it. So we'll have to see how he does. But
I will warn you, there will be some F-bombs if Robbie Ray gets smashed. Just so you know in advance.
I'm prepared for that.
Okay. So maybe we rallied him into a good outing here. We'll see how it goes.
Hope so.
All right, my friend. Good stuff. And we'll be back tomorrow together. And then Sunday's Crash's respite day.
Yeah.
You got drums, I bet you, this week. You're doing
No, I'm not playing drums again until the 21st. But I was planning on trying to take that day off. So
yeah, you take it off, relax, enjoy it. And I'll have to get on the hook here as your agent, get you some of these drumming gigs.
Sounds good to me.
All right, man. Well, appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for listening in. Hopefully this helps you really get some big takedowns. Appreciate everybody. As Howard says, go Brewers and everybody else. So thanks very much today. Enjoy it. Have fun. And we'll definitely catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS, PrizePicks, and Boom Fantasy.